Chapter 4 deals with possessives. You have possessive nouns and pronouns, but we will begin our possession with a singular noun. The word organization is singular, meaning one organization. We're talking about the organization's history. The same thing with the word students. Student is singular. We're going to add an apostrophe S to it to say the student's request. Look at the noun to the left of the apostrophe. And in organization, when you look to the left, you see that the word organization is single. Same thing for the word student. If you look to the left of the apostrophe, this tells you whether your noun or your pronoun is singular or plural. Let's look at rule number 1. Most nouns form possessive by adding just an apostrophe plus an S. So, girl become girls, John become Johns, student become students, mother become mothers. Now when I pronounce it, it sounds as if they are plural, but they're not plural, they're showing possession. Rule number 2 says, when a singular noun or a proper name ends in an S, then just add the apostrophe. So here we have 2 examples. The proper noun or proper name, Chris, ends in an S, so we're just going to put the apostrophe after it. Same thing with Marine Corps. Corps is plural. It is in the S, but we're going to put an apostrophe there. Rule number 3 says when a singular noun or proper noun ends in an S or even an S sound, you can add an apostrophe S unless the next word begins with S. Now this is saying a mouthful, but stay with me. I'm going to explain to you on the next slide. Basically, if the next word begins with an S, you add an apostrophe only. This includes words with the S or SH sound. Here are the examples. The witness's version was hard to believe. Witness ends in the S. We show possession by putting the apostrophe in the S. Then we go on with our sentence. Now here's an exception to the putting the apostrophe S there. The witness story was the same as the victim's. So after the word witness that ends in the S, you have a word that begins with an S, story. So that way you don't put the apostrophe after the S in witness. Here's another one. Did you see my boss's car? Car. Here it is, B-O-S-S, apostrophe S. The reason why you're putting an apostrophe there, apostrophe S there, is because you have to enunciate another syllable to show the possession. Now, if you don't do it when you have, did you see my boss's shining car? Shining begins with an S, so you don't add the extra syllable because there's too many S's and it makes it convoluted. Again, when a singular noun or proper noun ends in an S or has an S sound, you add an apostrophe S unless the next word begins with an S. Rule number 4 talks about plural nouns. Now before we was talking about singular nouns. Now we're talking about plural nouns or proper names that end in an S. You just add an apostrophe. So babies is plural. The sentence, the babies' beds were all in a row, shows that babies is plural. It ends in the S, so we put the apostrophe here. And then we also show plural in this form here, and we show plural in this form here. Here's another example. Look at the noun to the left of the apostrophe, which is babies. It's to the left of the apostrophe, and babies is plural because it is a plural form of baby, meaning one. Plural nouns are proper names ending in an S. You're just adding an apostrophe. So lines, more than one. The lines, usual source of water has dried up. So what you do is you look again to the left of the apostrophe and to determine, is that word singular or is that word plural? Here the word is plural. In rules 3 and 4, again, if a singular proper noun ends in an S, you add an apostrophe, which is what we're doing here. Is Chris' exam scores were higher than other students. Now, if a proper noun is in the S or S sound, and the possessive is pronounced with an extra syllable, you have to add an apostrophe to show possession. This is an example I'm giving you. Thomas is singular. Thomas says, meaning to show possession. I have to enunciate another syllable. So Thomas's exam scores were higher than any other students. Thomas has two syllables plus the possessive. And if you have any doubt as to what I'm referring to, look at page 89 and under number 3 in your book. Plural nouns and irregular plurals that do not end in S, you just add an apostrophe S. Children, which is an irregular plural, cannot end in an S because children is already plural. So children's apostrophe S shows possession. Children's programming is not priority. Same thing with the word geese. The geese's food supply was endangered. You will never place an S after an irregular plural unless you are showing possession. So here you'll never see this, but you will always see this. This is incorrect. This is correct. Same thing with these words. These are irregular plural words. Women is already plural. You can't add an S to it to make it plural, but you can add an apostrophe S to it to make it possessive. The same thing with men. Men is already plural. You can't add an S to it to make it a plural. You can add an apostrophe S to it to make it possessive. If a compound noun is singular, add an apostrophe plus S to the last word in the compound to form the possession. This is rule number 6. So the example I've given here is the forest ranger's truck is painted an ugly shade of green. I've also given you my father-in-law's BMW is really fun to drive. Now one is a compound without a dash. The other one are compounds. A compound noun with the dash, and you can see the difference in where the possession is shown. Rule number 7. If a compound noun is plural, ending in S, add only an apostrophe to form the possessive. So House of Representatives is plural. To show possession, you're going to put the apostrophe after the S. The S is already there. Same thing with singers. Singers, plural, voices, meaning more than one singer. And then the cousin's favorite uncle. All the cousins have the same favorite uncle. Rule number 8 says, if a compound noun is plural, and that noun does not end in the S, you can add an apostrophe plus S to form a possessive. So you have a compound noun, runners up. Now runners is possessive. Is plural. For runners up, ups, to show possession, you put the apostrophe S after the last element. Brothers-in-law is plural, but to show possession, you put the apostrophe S after the word laws. So the sentence will read, my two brothers-in-law's hats blew off. Rule number 9 talks about ownership and possession. Now, this is where you can have ownership. You have a compound, your compound nouns, Jocelyn's and Don's hobbies. Hobbies is plural, and this is an indication that the hobbies are not shared. So Jocelyn has a hobby of reading and Don has a hobby of writing. Two separate hobbies. So you will make Jocelyn possessive and then Don possessive by adding the apostrophe S. Now, when they share the hobby, you have Jocelyn and Don's hobby, one hobby, they share the hobby together. It shows here that you only put the possession on the last compound noun, the last one, not the first one, but the last one. So you can see the difference. Unshared hobbies, unshared whatever, shared. It could be unshared businesses or shared business. So it can be that. Rule number 10 says use a possessive form for a noun or pronoun that appears before a gerund to indicate ownership. A gerund is a verb form that ends in an ing and is used as a noun. So fish is a noun, but when we say fishing, it becomes a verb. So Joe Poole's fishing is fun. That's the example you have here. Chapter 4, previous lecture, brought us plurals. You add an S to a word to form a plural. Girl becomes girls. And then it also told us about irregular plurals. You have irregular plurals that do not end in the S. That's with your children, your men, your women, feet, and so on. In this lecture, we learned that plurals can be possessive just as single words can be possessive. So a single possessive is this example here. The girl's, apostrophe S, doll was pretty. Even though girls sound like it's more than one, it's not. It is possessive of who owns the doll, the girl's doll. Plural possessive is like this. The girls, meaning more than one girl, dolls were pretty. Notice that we have plural here, and there's a plural form here and a plural form here. Irregular plural possessive is this. The women's meeting spoke on how to have a successful business career. So you can see that you can have possessive that are singular, possessive that are plural, and you can also have irregular plural possessive.